Hey guys, it's the Evan and Katelyn podcast, the podcast trending #1 by imaginary friends.
What does that mean?
In some world, in some multiverse, this is #1, and that's the multiverse of imaginary friends.
So you have logic. Or did you just make that up?
I just made it up.
Okay, guys, we have a fun podcast ahead of us.
Fun? I'm not sure if it's fun. We're going to get a little real.
Real is fun.
Real is fun.
You don't start a podcast by saying this is not going to be a fun podcast.
I think this is going to be...
Everyone leave.
This is going to be a very interesting podcast. It's a podcast I kind of always intended to do, but I thought it'd be later. I wanted to get like more just like fun, fluffy ones in, or like substantial ones, because I guess in my head I worried that it might sound like it's complaining, but I also wanted to give a peek behind the curtain of like what is real behind the content we put out. And there's nothing that bad almost all the time, but right now I have a hernia and I am dealing with that. And it might affect our work going forward, and I thought that this, I don't know, it seemed like something I should
timely.
I could bring you guys behind the curtain on this, because it may affect our schedule, it may affect other things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to get some sort of surgery.
Some sort of surgery.
Know yet.
Yeah. So it seemed like it might just be weird if we just like went dark or something. But one thing that's great about the shift we've been making towards, this podcast and doing casual videos and doing some Twitch streaming is, even if we can't do the big projects like building a shed or like renovating a room, we can still stay engaged with you in a more casual way.
Yeah, like even if you're recovering from surgery.
Even if I'm recovering from surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that's been on our mind for a while. Since we first started the channel, we based it around DIY, and sometimes like our best performing content was big things.
Yeah, it usually is the big, time consuming, like physically larger pieces.
Yeah.
Or rooms.
and that's something that we enjoy, but we also have more in our life that we want to share. And I think we talked about this in past episodes. Since we put all of our time into making content, and what we're doing with our time needs to work with the content we're trying to put out, I guess one of the worries we had is that in the future we may not be able to always make that content at the same pace that we were setting the pace for.
If that content is like a big furniture build or room renovation every week.
Yeah. Like, let's say that maybe one day we want to have kids. Who knows? That would affect our content, the content we were putting out. Mm-hmm. Let's say one of us gets sick. Let's say one of us needs to go into surgery. We wanted to like start moving towards content that's a little bit more flexible, mm-hmm. in like a soft way, so that if we ever needed to go towards that content, it wouldn't be like a hard switch.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like a sharp left turn.
Yeah. And so that's just happening sooner than I expected.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like we haven't been good about resting.
Yeah.
Very much. So like we've done a few videos with you not feeling great. Yeah. And it's hard because there's like some times of day where you feel good enough to work, and some times of day where it's really terrible.
Yeah.
And like we keep trying to squeeze out videos, because we want to do videos. We like doing videos. Mm-hmm. We have these ideas that like we want to get out, but at the same time, I think logically in our heads we know we need to rest, but it's kind of hard.
It is hard. Well, also, we've been keeping up such a nice pace of productiveness, and we both like being productive and making content, and like I don't know, it's just a satisfying thing for us, and it's hard to stop and still keep that satisfaction.
Well, what's interesting is, like you're saying, one of the reasons we kind of started making this shift is because it seems more sustainable long term. And it's not just because it's like, oh, it's easier to, make a video about like some small vice jaws or your cat liking tape than it is to do a laundry room renovation. Part of it is like we have a little bit more flexibility and just being goofy when it is a smaller project, and we have more fun with that.
Yeah.
But ironically, like part of that shift was also introducing things like the podcast, like streaming on Twitch, like the E&K Tuesday videos. So we've essentially gone from like a video a week to a video a week plus an occasional second video plus a podcast a week plus streaming several days a week. So like we're doing more stuff, but it feels like more, it just feels like we're going towards the path that we want to be on. So it doesn't feel like more work necessarily, even though it is like more items to do.
Yeah. But it is definitely a shift that we've been underway. And I think I've said, we already talked about this a little bit, but you know, I hope that like probably most of the, like you guys who are listening to the podcast don't mind the shift. I'm hoping. And like, hopefully you guys understand why we're kind of moving in that direction more now. I'm not sure if my words are making sense. Oh, this is another thing about the hernia. It is painful, but the worst part about it is I just like haven't been sleeping for the past like,
Evan's totally loopy.
16 days. Yeah, so I'm pretty loopy.
Words are hard.
Words
like
are definitely hard
usual.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's still satisfying to be able to put out content. Oh, this leads me back to like a theory that I've had for a long time, the thing theory. Everyone needs a thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a theory that
thing
I've had.
Theory.
You know, I think that people need to have like their thing, like their sense of identity. When you introduce yourself to someone, like what's your thing? You know? Or if your parents were introducing you to someone, what's your thing? So when you're growing up, you're a student, you're an athlete, you're a student athlete, whatever, you know, musician. I don't know. It's like everyone has their thing. And I think that that's a really important part of like being happy and satisfied with life a little bit. And I think that one of our things now is creating content. And I think that if like something happened to us where we couldn't create content, then that'd be really upsetting to us. And I like that we can create lots of different types of content in lots of different ways. So there's just increasing our flexibility to continue making content in the future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and like I kind of mentioned earlier, it's not just because we're foreseeing like, oh, some of the content we've been making would be more difficult to do. It's not just like avoiding potential troubles. Like we're actively doing this because it's what we want to do more, you know, and the ability to avoid potential troubles and still be able to make content to me is like a nice added bonus. But I think the main thing, because that, you know, if there are troubles or more difficult times or whatever, that's temporary times. But all the time outside of that is still time where you're like putting all your efforts towards making content, and being able to do stuff that we're really excited about is the most important, I think. And so that's like the main reason for the shift. But this is like, I think the situation kind of, I mean, we've always in the back of our heads thought like, you know, if we do have kids one day, or if one of us does get sick or injured or whatever, these types of videos will be easier. But now we're kind of in the middle of that actually happening. So it kind of brings it to the forefront. And, you know, we're not like, the podcast isn't like established yet. Our Twitch streams aren't like established yet, you know, like
right now, it doesn't really make sense monetarily or business wise to be putting our time into it when we could be making more videos.
But it's still like content we can make that we enjoy making, that like we get to interact with you guys, and it's still
doing it for
like
the long term
too, you know?
Yeah. I think that this might also be a good podcast to mix with the like, you know, real life versus YouTube, like what you see on YouTube.
Ooh, so you're gonna get like double juicy in this one?
Double juicy, like super real.
Let me roll up my sleeves more. They're actually already rolled up, but I just gotta like take them to the next level.
I think I might take off my like sweatshirt.
You getting sweaty? I don't have anything like underneath my sweatshirt, so I just gotta keep rolling up my sleeves.
This room gets a little hot.
It gets really toasty. Is it our lights?
I think it might be our lights.
Computers?
And the computers and the servers.
You just dropped your sweater on the light.
Oh yeah, it's affecting the light. No, it's okay.
That's okay. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you for grabbing it.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. My sleeves are officially at like, I feel like
90%
Princess
up.
Peach, you know?
Do you need to change?
No, I'm good. I look great.
You look great. You
Oh,
got
great.
your arm puffs on.
It's like a kid with little floaties on.
Okay, so I think that this is an interesting topic to us because when we watch other people's YouTube videos, we always analyze it and like to kind of figure out what's going on behind the scenes and how they do things and why they do things.
We analyze the crap out of videos.
It's really fun. We like watch YouTube videos and go on walks and discuss them.
Yeah, we do. It's research and meetings.
A theme that like our streets are our meeting office.
Yeah, yeah, the neighborhood streets.
Neighborhood streets. Yeah, so I think that one thing we can do is we can shed a little bit of light on how our real life is different from our YouTube videos. Yeah, and it's actually not that
It's not really
different.
that different. Yeah.
But I think that it's kind of interesting because to make the content that we make, like especially our older content that would take place over 3 to 5 days, we take all of that footage, maybe like 30 hours or something, and we have to compress, maybe not 30 hours. It's
maybe not 30 hours. It might be like 10 hours.
10 hours. Okay, like 10 hours of footage. That was probably like the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
Take 10 hours of footage and compress it to 10 to 20 minutes. And that's a tough chore to condense that as much as we do. And what we end up doing, because I think that it makes the best content, is we grab all of the highlights, all of the funny moments, and stitch them together and tell a story with them with, dialogue, putting them together. But I think that like the things that get cut out from the video are just the moments like where we're just working, and it's still enjoyable, but I don't know. I think it's just kind of interesting. But it would be
like boring content.
It'd be boring content. It wouldn't make for the best content. And then a lot of what's also not missing in like what we put out is everything that goes into the content that we make. All of the editing, all of the social media, all of the like website
emails
maintenance.
Emails
to sponsors, emails about merch, emails about like supporting the products that we've put out there, like just everything else that goes into our business. That's something that doesn't really get captured either. And I think it's just kind of interesting because I've noticed that there's a perception out there by some people of like, oh, you're just having fun. And that's true. But there's also a lot of work that goes into it. And I think that this is originally the episode that I was thinking in my head that I wanted to do sometime, and I wanted to hold off because it sounded like complaining. But I just wanted to like bring you guys behind the curtain with us a little bit.
How many curtains shall we?
Just all of the curtains. Just all of the curtains. I wonder if I can like put some curtains behind us. No, that's too much.
That's for the green screen.
That's
yeah,
for the
just
green
a bunch of curtains.
If I can't find any like real nice graphics, I'm just gonna like get 2 still JPEGs and just like move them out.
There's like still images going.
Just like it's more like sliding doors than curtains. But I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. An interesting topic.
Yeah. I think like one comment we'll get every now and then, and we generally don't get too many. Oh, you're bumping everything. Okay, you settled?
Yeah.
Okay, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. If everything shook for a minute in the video, one thing that like we don't get too many negative comments really. Like, you.
Sorry, I'm just kidding.
You weren't settled. I asked if you were settled.
Okay, go.
We don't get too many negative comments, but one, I guess, kind of negative one that we get sometimes is like, oh, nobody's that happy all the time. And it's like, well, yeah, this is like over the past few days, the highlights of our video where we are like joking around and stuff. And that's not to say we're like not happy the other times. So like you said, sometimes like we'll shoot a scene and then there's like a bunch of sanding required. And it's like, okay, well, we'll either both just put on our headphones and knock this out real quick, or Evan will do some sanding and I'll go work on editing the scene we just filmed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we are. Yeah, we're not like yelling in happiness, which is like our that is our default sometimes, but we're not just doing that all the time.
We are happy people and we make each other laugh a lot, but we aren't happy all the time. I think that like
we're generally happy
there's
most
a theory
of the time.
that we have about like your happiness level.
Oh, we have the thing theory, and now here's the other theory. Okay, go for it.
Okay, I actually have a list of like, what's that list I have? It's a really corny name.
Yeah, I thought it was like your life cheat sheet.
My life cheat sheet. Yeah,
This is where Evan's theories go. They're written down.
So I think that kind of everyone has like, everyone at any point we can put them on a scale of like 0 to 10 of how happy they are. And I think that certain people have like a baseline of happiness. Like let's say that someone's baseline is 5. And most days they're around 5. And when something good happens, they peak up to 7 and then they go back down to 5. And then something bad happens, they drop down to 3 and then they go back up to 5. But like most people, and I think that like I was kind of inspired by this thought by a TED Talk. It's not my original idea at all, but I think that most people overestimate how much happier happy things are going to make them and overestimate how much bad things will make them sad. And most people generally have a baseline. And I think that we generally have a higher baseline of happiness in a way. And not to say that happiness is like the goal either, I mean, happiness is a nice thing, but like happiness isn't. This is another TED Talk. I'm just like ripping off TED Talks here. But happiness
Evan
isn't
and Katelyn podcast where Evan rips off TED Talks.
Yeah. That'd be a good intro.
I'll do it next time. No, I can't do it.
It's already done. But I think that, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Happiness is such a hard, nebulous goal to aim for. Like, okay, my goal in life is to be happy.
Yeah. Now, where's my checklist of things to do to be happy? Be happy, darn it!
It's really hard thing to do. It's really hard thing to do.
It's real hard.
I'm just leaving words out right now. But I think that...
That's a good question.
Things like being productive or finding satisfaction in your job or, like there's a lot of concrete goals you can go after that might improve your life and that might lead to happiness. But, man, I'm just going all over the place in this podcast, aren't I? I wanted to get real and I got like too real in like a scatterbrained way.
We'll just call this the like Evan and Katelyn Get Real podcast and then play Would You Rather.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even do like the overview or anything.
I tried and I was like, so today we're going to have a fun podcast. And you're like, it's not going to be fun. I have a hernia.
Don't make me laugh too hard. It's going to make my hernia worse. No, I don't think that's a real fact. I'm making that up.
We did a lot of Googling about them.
We did a lot of Googling, but it's we don't need to get into like what a hernia is.
Save that for other types of podcasts.
No podcasts.
Not ours.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Other types of podcasts.
Maybe there's going to be an ologies on hernias. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't think so. Maybe a surgery podcast.
Oh yeah, surgery. Oh yeah. Maybe there already was one. There's a few archived ones.
There's a few archived ones. Okay, what were we doing?
Happiness baseline and
happiness baseline.
How people overestimate the effects of happy things or sad things because really they just end up going back to their baseline.
I know where I was going with this.
Okay.
Looking at our old videos that took, and it's not like they're old versus new. It's just in the past we mainly did a certain type of video and now we're mixing of more variety in. But like
it's been a gradual shift.
It's been a gradual shift. In our earlier videos, we'd take a longer period of time and crunch it in really snug. But I think that in a way, our more recent videos that we've made where we are like recording it all in like one session and it's like with a tape episode, that was just like, it wasn't real time because we probably condensed 2 hours down into 15 minutes.
Yeah, but that's a lot better than condensing like 4 days into 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that honestly, the content that takes a shorter period to make is actually the more real content.
Yeah, because
we can leave pauses in there.
Out,
yeah, we can leave like in the tape episode. I'm just gonna bring that up as the example for this.
And if you haven't seen it, this is our supervisor, or I guess we titled it like our cat ranks her favorite tapes. It's that one, the E&K Tuesday.
But there's a lot of scenes in that where we just used silence as the humor, or like, you know, just like waiting for her to do something, or to sniff the tape, or to like do something.
It was a riveting video.
She is a cat. So, but you know, we were able to include more moments like that, which is kind of more real. I don't know.
Yeah, because we didn't have to be so brutal to cut everything down to fit it into a video time period.
Yeah, because like when you have so much footage, there's so much good stuff. And I think that we've even released on Patreon a few times where like our video with Bob. We went to Bob and we got like we went to Bob. We were making a video with Bob from I Like to Make Stuff. I can use words when I try.
We went to Bob, make video, long video.
And we ended up with like a lot of good footage. I think we released like, we trimmed out as much as we could in like one brutal pass. And we ended up with like 40 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
Of like what we thought was pretty good stuff. And then we took that 40 minutes and cut it down to 25 minutes, which was hard. And then we still got like comments like Bob built a whole table, you built a net, and his video is shorter than yours. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I guess we think they were really funny. I don't know.
Like, I gotta leave in the boogers joke. I
gotta leave in the boogers. I mean,
gotta leave in that time where you made a funny face. This is good content.
But I think that, like, you know, maybe we're too sentimental towards the content that we make. I don't know.
I think it's just like there's different focuses, because when we were doing step-by-step stuff, we planned out everything we were going to say, and we were very conscious about, like, there will be basically no moments where we're saying what we're going to do and we're not overlaying footage of us doing that thing.
Yeah. Super efficient. And
we're super efficient, super conscious of everyone's time watching the video, because it's like, hey, if you're watching this video to learn how to do this thing, we don't want to just sit for 5 minutes telling you how to do it and then do it for another 5 minutes. Like, well, it wouldn't be 5 minutes, but you know what I mean? Like, we would overlay footage, and we still do. We do like a mix of that now, but we do a lot more in the moment, us talking to the camera, saying what we're going to do, and then we show how to do it. And sometimes I'll overlay it a little bit, but like when you're like, the goal of the video is more to like fit all the steps in an efficient way and show like how to get from point A to B to C, etc. That's a different focus than like when the focus is like capturing funny moments and just kind of like like making the audience feel like they're hanging out with you. You know, that's a different goal. So I think like there's different criteria that you filter what you've recorded through that determine what makes it to the final cut or not. And sometimes that means it's a 30-minute video. Like that tends to happen with our collab videos. Like our video with Johnny Brook, Crafted Workshop, was another super long video. Our Alex Steele, we got like a few videos with Alec and they're all super long. Our one with Bob was super long.
'Cause there's just a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. And that tends to happen more because like I'm recording literally everything.
So like, more good stuff gets captured.
Yeah, so more good stuff gets captured, and then it's like, well, I can't cut that. It's good.
And it's a lot harder to edit.
Oh, it's so much more difficult to edit. I've gotten better. Like at some of our more recent collabs, I've gotten a little bit more efficient and like more confident in being able to, like
Bill and Britt and stuff.
Yeah, I was like a little bit more efficient with those.
Well, like going back to our goal and Bill and Britt, when we were hanging out with Bill and Britt from Punished Props, Bill like talked a little bit about his like mission statement and their mission statement and what they kind of want their content to do and to be. And I think since then I've been thinking about that some without success, like without coming to a good conclusion. But I think that one thing that, and not that we have a mission statement, I almost don't want to say this, but like how I kind of see us fitting into the grand scheme of like making on YouTube and all of that is like, I wouldn't mind for us to be at like the top of the like the content funnel of like making, where like we hopefully catch a lot of different people, get them excited about making, get them aware of what's possible, and get them like excited about it, expose them to it,
a
and
lot of different types of
exactly.
making.
And then if they want to go down the rabbit hole of woodworking or 3D printing or any of the other things, I think they can go down those rabbit holes because they exist, you know. But I think, you know, we're not there. But I think that if I had a goal, if I had to choose a goal right now, that's what it'd be.
Yeah, and I don't really think that's like the same as a mission statement.
No,
but
that's
it's
not
more
a mission statement.
but it's more like where our channel stands in relation to other maker channels and like what type of audience we hit. And I think we would like to have kind of like maybe a more wide net. And I mean, it's partly because like we like to do a lot of different projects, and we've realized that we have more fun with the videos if we're not going into every single detail about every single step. So that does, by its own nature, make us more of like an introductory. Yeah. Even if we're doing advanced stuff, we're still like an introduction to those more advanced things because we're not going into detail on every single little thing, you know.
Man, we have gone far from where we started.
No, I keep thinking like, what's the title of this podcast going to be? Is it going to be...
Let's get real, and then like in parentheses, distracted. Let's get real and distracted. I don't know. It's a work in progress. You'll know by the time you see this.
We basically had all these ideas listed for like podcast ideas we can do in the future. Evan just took like 4 of them
and just squished them into one
episode.
Just use them all up.
Oh man, but yeah, I feel like I could keep going on this, but I don't know how deep that road's gonna go or what podcast topics we're gonna use up next.
Let's just roll with it, and I think see where it goes. And you know what? I think that naturally in the future we might roll back into them.
That's true.
Because also, I mean, gosh, think about how much has changed since we first started making content. Our perspective, our everything, you know?
Yeah, a ton.
Like our process and all of that. So I think that my guess is that we're going to keep on changing.
Yes, we can keep talking about it as we change. Like, remember back in episode 004.
But I mean, making it, they've been doing this for 4 years.
Something like that. And
they're, you know, in their podcast, they say like, we're still figuring out. We still don't know what we're doing. It's still changing. We're still shifting. And I think that's kind of a good thing in a way.
I think so too.
I wouldn't want to like get to like a static point where we just aren't changing. I don't know.
And aren't like thinking about it. Yeah. Just like, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. We can refine my theories. I can bring up more points from my life cheat sheet.
Yeah, more TED Talks.
More TED Talks. Stop giving away my secrets.
You gave away your own secrets.
Yeah, that's true. I'll like be listening to TED Talks and I'll just pull out my life cheat sheet and just start taking notes.
Yeah, it's really just like a summary of TED Talks.
But it's like the TED Talks that resonated with me the most.
Yeah.
And where like, you know, it's kind of like gathering all the information, rewording it in my own words so that it makes sense to me. Because like, guys, these people that give these TED Talks are really smart.
They're real smart.
Really smart. And you know, at times when you're looking at like a simple list, it's hard to get those smart ideas across quickly. So I dumb it down for myself, which I think is kind of hard and impressive.
I'm very impressed by your dumbing down abilities.
Yes. I've used his logic for 5 points. Right. I think we covered everything that we wanted to
and more.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I think one thing that I definitely want to say is thank you guys for joining us along this journey as we figure things out, as we explore new things, and supporting us as we go through the ups and downs of life.
Yeah, which are inevitable, and like it's different from a normal job where your life and your work are very separate.
Yeah,
you know, it's all the same.
Yeah,
it's all intertwined.
I know a hernia is unfortunate, but like it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I definitely don't want to complain too much. There's people going through a lot worse, and I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. I mean, like our friend Simone is going through something a lot more difficult. And, you know,
brain tumor stuff.
Yeah, brain tumor stuff, man. That's scary stuff. So we're thankful for the health that we have, and I don't know where I was going with that one again.
And now we should play a game to celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate. Okay, so we went back and forth on a few different games, but we settled on Would You Rather because we're prepared for it.
Prepared.
Prepared.
We're prepared. Okay.
Okay, so want me to go first?
Now I'm going to go first. I have a great one.
Okay. You sold this one. It better be great now.
Okay. Would you rather eat a handful of hamster poop nuggets or not brush your teeth for 6 months?
Oh, eat a handful of hamster poop nuggets. I mean, not brush your teeth for 6 months. Like that's like a moment of pain versus like 6 months of pain, and maybe a lifetime. What if you get cavities?
I agree.
I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer.
Wait, what if it was for 1 month?
No, still.
What's your threshold?
A week.
Really?
I don't know.
I might go a week without brushing my teeth
to avoid eating hamster poop.
Yeah, and I would just like not eat anything with sugar.
Maybe there's like, you could probably cheat the system. Like eat fibrous, like eat celery at the end of the day.
Ooh,
and like, to really like scrub your mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's like, so you can't brush your teeth, but what if there's like natural remedies that people used in the past that.
What if it was like, okay, you have to eat.
You're really stretching this one question into a whole topic.
You have to eat a handful of hamster poop nuggets once a day for a week, or not brush your teeth for a month.
Not brush for a week and a month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd flip a coin.
I'd probably still eat the hamster poop nuggets. I imagine it's just kind of like seeds, ground up seeds.
Can you like prepare them? Can you like dry them like. What's that thing called? Dehumidify them?
Oh, like dehydrate them?
Like you dehydrate them, crush them, like add in some maybe turn it into smoothie or something so it's less nasty. Take a shot of hamster poop.
I mean, I was going to say no, but that's really creative, so I think you're allowed.
Okay, cool. So, would you rather fly but be really slow or be able to run as fast as a car? Fly, but you like at a normal person's walking pace.
Fly, but at a normal person's walking pace.
Me too. Yeah.
Just because, I could run as fast as a car, but I could also just get in a car if I needed to be
yeah,
fast.
You're right. It's not like a bonus.
Yeah, it's not really like a bonus, but flying, even if it's slow, think of how leisurely that would be.
Yeah, you could just but also it's so useful. It's like you're exploring the Grand Canyon and you just
yeah. You just float around.
Fly walk across it or something.
I mean, that sounds like the most relaxing way to fly. I think even if I could fly fast, I might fly at a walking pace. Maybe that's a benefit.
Okay. That was a pretty easy answer. Never mind.
It's okay. Mine was easier. I was like, is he going to eat the poop nuggets?
Maybe I should have gone faster. What if you can run as fast as a jet? Then that's utility. Then that's really useful. We could go visit your parents, and run there.
So we could run to my parents' house.
Yeah, and it'd be both of us.
Because
if only one of us got the power, it'd be super lame.
Yeah, it has to be both of us for both these powers.
Yeah. So run as fast as a jet. I might run as fast as a jet.
It would make traveling a lot easier.
Yeah, that'd be.
Although
flying slowly.
You still gotta run for 40 minutes or 30 minutes to get where you're going. That's still a lot of running.
That is a lot of running.
And
but I guess would you get in shape then? Because that's really useful.
Where would you run? Would you be in traffic with cars? Because you might be you're kind of limited by the cars.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Are you
gonna do it down the medians?
Okay, flying maybe still. Yeah,
I might still fly.
Yeah.
If I could transport automatically, or if I had some magical
transport's
vehicle,
the best. Yeah.
If I had a personal, but if I had a personal self-flying jet that I could just hop into, that could fly at the speed of a jet.
Yeah.
But
then you're getting both for one, because then you can fly and do your flying.
But that's different. Flying in a plane or a jet is a lot different than me being able to fly.
Yeah, that's true. You being able to fly is it's a pretty cool idea thought.
Yeah.
Idea thought. Okay.
I still might pick fly.
Okay, your question.
Okay. I don't remember. We wrote these down a long time ago.
Yeah, these are kind of fresh to me too.
Okay. Would you rather be in a coma for 5 years and then when you come out of it, you get $5 million, or get your leg cut off and you get $5 million right away?
Leg cut off, $5 million right away. Just because, like, that's a lot of life. 5 years. Imagine, like, 5 years ago.
I know,
We
but
were
at the same time,
25.
think about
forever.
not having a leg. That's forever.
But then you can get a bionic one with your $5 million. Then you're even.
Yeah, but you could also, like, if you're in a coma for 5 years, that does suck. But then with your
would be
5
in the
million,
coma together?
no, it's just one person.
Just one person. That's sad. That'd be sad. I'll do the leg cut off. Just because, like
And then
thinking,
get like a really cool bionic leg.
yeah, really cool bionic leg or something.
If
But like
bionic leg
$5 million
there,
isn't like it sounds weird saying this, but like that's not like live the rest of your life
probably
easily.
not enough for
money.
like a really good bionic leg. Okay, well the money doesn't matter because it's the same for both. Make
Okay.
it $5 billion,
$5 billion? Oh, then leg, for sure.
and you just get like a really cool bionic leg.
Or just like you can like I don't know. I feel like money compensates more for a leg than for time. I don't know. Time is the most valuable thing.
That's true.
You know?
But I guess like the thought is, if you have to go through, you're going to have to go through some sort of, even if you get a bionic leg, it's not like you pop it on and all of a sudden you're good. You're going to have to go through a long time of physical therapy and relearning to do things. And you're still going to be hindered in things you can do. Like you can't go swimming with that thing.
Yeah,
you know?
you can totally go swimming with just one leg.
You can't go in like ocean waves that are like rough where you have to like really paddle and stuff. Like you're still
might be
limited.
able to. I'm pretty good at swimming.
You're still
I'm
limited.
pretty good at swimming.
You just like go in circles because you only have one leg.
No, like they make like you could just get like a I can swim just fine using one leg.
Okay, maybe swimming's not the best example
I'm
because
really good at
you're
swimming.
really good swimmer. But like, there's things that you can't,
Yeah.
that you would be limited in your ability to
Yeah.
do. You know,
But
and
still,
that's for life.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's tough. Maybe if it
know.
was a year, I might choose the year.
If it was a year, I think I would choose the year
Yeah.
because a year goes by really fast. 5 years is hard. I don't really know the answer.
I don't know either.
That's why it's a good one.
There is no right answer, I guess. I don't know. But I think that I was listening to the Modern Maker podcast, and Chris was saying when he worked at his day job, he wanted time to go faster often. Like when he was at work, he wanted it to go faster. When it was the weekday, he wanted it to be the weekend. He always wanted time to go faster. And now that and if it was the case for him and it's the case for us, now that we're working on our own things and it's like really meaningful and stuff, we always want time to go slower. We always want more time. And just like the thought of losing that much time, like what we could do, what we could accomplish, what we could learn, how we could grow and everything, it's just, that time is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
That's true.
Wow, I didn't expect us to like riff on these ideas so much.
Pick some good ones. Okay, what's yours?
Okay. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or read minds?
Teleport anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like...
Yeah, you're right. Most people are probably just going to have boring thoughts.
Well, no, I feel like okay, so the reason you would want to read minds, I mean, we could be like, oh, what do people want to see on our channel? We'll do that and be really successful.
Or we could like gamble and win a whole bunch of money, or that's how I went straight to like the gaming the system. Or
yeah, I
like,
wasn't thinking about gambling. I mean, I guess I was still kind of gaming the system. Like,
we could be like super successful business people, or we
could read people's minds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like you can read people's minds, but that doesn't necessarily, I guess if you're gambling and you're like playing poker and you can figure out what everybody has.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like you only get to do that a couple times and then like they realize you're cheating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like they realize if someone's like winning too much that they're cheating if you're gambling. But like, I feel like reading minds would be beneficial, but it also might just, it might like literally like get in your head to where it's hard to think about like, well, what is it that I want anymore, because like if you're just thinking about what other people want and trying to do what other people want or play that system, like that could get really exhausting. And also just because you can read someone's mind, like let's say we're talking to a sponsor. This is a very like small thing. Say we're talking to a sponsor.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, I wonder what number they have in mind. Then we can read their minds and figure it out and be like, oh, well, that still sucks. I know it now, but it's not what I was hoping for. So it's not always like beneficial.
Right. You make a good point, because like the best case of reading minds is you get the truth from people, but like you can also get the truth from people by like establishing trust and being good at communication and using words.
And sometimes, it's like, and sometimes the truth might not be good, or it might not, because like going back to like the content stuff, like the first time we released a kind of silly video, it was like,
what if everyone had that sucked?
Yeah, what if everybody was like, oh man, that was really bad, I hope they don't keep doing that. And
everyone's just being polite.
And everyone was just being polite.
And we're like, oh, thank you.
We're like, oh, thanks, so glad you liked this one. And like we're keeping on like being silly in our videos because we like it. But if like we got to hear all the people who were really like, man, they're kind of like grading on me, it's like, going downhill. Maybe it would be going downhill. Maybe it would be beneficial for our channel in the short term, because we could change and make those people happy. But in the long term, because we're doing what we want to do, eventually, like, people will either come with us or they'll leave.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, in some ways it might get in your head too much. And if we could teleport, then
teleport anywhere. Man, then we get to
awesome.
do traveling
we could just like
all
travel
the
all the time. Start a travel channel. Travel channel.
Travel channel. and then like instead of staying at a hotel, you just walk back to your house and sleep in your own bed.
Oh, I can check on Juby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won't be stressed out when we leave.
All the days.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We can do like builds in exotic locations.
In Thailand right now.
We can like do a build on like a mountaintop. Majestically.
Come back, grab our tool. When we get to travel not time
travel.
No,
Not time travel. That's a little much.
I didn't mean time. I actually don't know if I would want to do that.
I don't know if I would either.
But there's like too many things to
too
not
many variables.
Up. Yeah, too many variables. But like, would we be able to travel with things?
Oh yeah, like not like teleport there naked. That sucks.
Yeah. One of the questions like, would you take the option of being able to teleport, but you can only teleport naked?
Yes.
I'd still do it too.
I'd still do it. I'd
teleport into like a dressing room, put on some clothes, and be like, I will buy these clothes.
But you won't have any information with you. You'd have to steal it. You'd become a thief.
Oh, I would have to become a thief. I'd set up like
safe houses around the world.
Safe houses,
That's cheap.
I could do it.
You could mail yourself a package of clothes and a wallet to a hotel, pay for the hotel, and then have it delivered to a room. It's like the hotel would be like so like weirded out by that, but like, hey,
Yeah, you could do that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, thanks.
Impromptu additional would you rather? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my real.
Wait, is it my turn or your turn?
No, you'd ask the read minds versus teleport.
Oh man, I have so many good ones. I've only done 2. I have 7 total. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather own a cat that had human hands, or would you rather have cat paws for feet?
Have a cat that has human hands? That's a strange question. I don't know why I'd want to have cat feet. Can you explain this logic, please?
No, just tell me what you want.
A cat with human hands.
Okay, me too.
Good question. It's like we're just saying like, wow, these questions have really sparked interesting debate. We like really riff on them. Cat hands. Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking with that question.
It was a good question. It was a good question.
I
I gotta go. You used your turn.
No.
You chose. Okay. Would you rather be able to control fire or water? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is like ice and water vapor included
totally,
in water?
Totally.
Okay. Oh, man.
Right? Because like if you can control fire, you could like do an impromptu campfire. You could cook things. You could do all sorts of things like that. So fire is like adding heat into the world. Water is like controlling water. But I don't think of water as like you can't make it colder or warmer. You can just like.
So I couldn't like freeze water?
No, you couldn't freeze it. That'd be power over ice.
But I just asked if I also have power over ice and water vapor, and you said yes.
Oh.
So which one is it?
You can move ice. You can move it, but you
can't
turn water into ice. Because that'd be the power over like. But you know what? Some people, okay, so in some theories of magic, people who can control fire
another
can
theory.
can remove heat from water. So it's like you're controlling heat, but what you can do with heat is you can like take, like, let's say you have some hot water, you can suck all of the heat out of the water, turning into ice, and you create a fire over the ice. So let's add that in. So
this is getting complicated.
Okay.
Okay.
So water.
Wait, so if I control fire, I control ice also?
You can't control ice, but you can like remove all heat.
Ice?
You can remove all heat from an object.
Okay, and create ice.
Create ice.
So in some ways, it's like, oh, you can maybe reverse global warming. Like, can you just suck it out?
No.
Then...
Like power of like let's say, okay. So let's add some
power?
let's add some logic to this. Like,
okay.
because there's some theories of magic where like you just have energy and you output it as heat or something. But I think that a more interesting theory of magic, sorry, I'm really nerdy, is like you just transfer heat. So you have the power over heat, basically. So that means like if the room is like one temperature and you want to heat yourself, you can suck the warmth out of the room, heating yourself, but the whole room gets cold.
So if I wanted to like prevent global warming, could I suck out some of the heat and then just like shoot that heat into space?
Yeah.
So that might be a good one.
But then, like, you'd create like a localized cold zone in order for like it to work. You just have to be like flying constantly and shooting a continual fireball out into space. No. Just go to the North Pole and just do it there.
Yeah, just do it where like the glaciers are melting.
Yeah, and just make it
just
super
put the
cold
glaciers
there.
back.
Okay, that's a pretty noble goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that is the one that would. Because I mean,
but like if you had the power over water, you could like walk on water. You could like jump into the water and have it like move you around. You could like make a boat out of water and like jet around in your water boat.
I mean, that one does sound more fun. Maybe there's fun stuff I can do with heat too. Oh, not really. I don't really like being too hot or too cold. I'm very particular.
Well, you could always keep yourself at the exact right temperature. You could heat your toes. You could heat your toes. And that would be amazing for you. Just continually warm
sweet.
Toes.
I just feel like I would feel really guilty if I chose the water one just because it sounded more fun if the heat one could fix global warming. I don't know if it's worth it living with that guilt. If one of them can fix global warming, you kind of have to choose that one.
Okay.
Even if it would be cool to like walk on water.
I
mean,
that's a noble choice.
I could still walk on water.
I could just
freeze it step by step.
But then, all the way down to the ground.
You didn't say how powerful I was with these powers, and I have the power
within
to do
reason. You can't stand on over the Marianas Trench.
Maybe
and
not there.
Freeze 5,000 feet of water.
I could maybe do it in like a little stream.
But then you create a dam, and all the water would flow around it and stuff.
I can like every time I take a step, it when I remove my foot, it goes away. And melts back.
I see. You're trying to stretch things. Okay, that's a good choice though. I think I would have chosen fire too, even though water does sound fun.
What were your reasons for fire? Was it like similar or?
Well, like fire is more utility. Water is more like, but let's say during an apocalypse. Oh no, fire would still be really really useful.
Yeah.
I was thinking like you could like purify water, you know.
But you can purify water.
You can purify water with fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so control over heat. That's where it's at.
I mean, you could create energy with either because you could like manipulate the water to be falling and stuff like a
water wheel.
A water wheel. I was like not a windmill, but like a windmill for water. Good job with words.
Good job. All right, you have a chance to redeem yourself after the cat question. Sorry, it was a good question.
Don't wink at the camera. People listening won't get it. Okay.
They could hear it. They could hear the wink in the silence.
They can hear your eyelids. Okay. Would you rather have a conversation with your past self or your future self?
Future self, duh.
I don't know. I think past self. I would tell my past self, "Hey, go do this."
Oh, so but then your future self would disappear. Okay, so time travel theory, guys. So
we're just busting out all the nerdy theories.
Okay, so if you go back in time and talk to your younger self, you're creating an alternate timeline for the self that you talk to, and if you travel back to your time, nothing will have changed. because that was a different timeline that you went back and altered. You created a new timeline. So that version of you, they're going to live a great life, but you don't get a benefit from it. So I'd rather have like a conversation with a future me than I get a benefit right away at this moment, you know? Yeah. Think about it.
I don't know.
Because there's no way for you
There's a lot of different...
There's no way for you to go back in time, talk to your old self, and come back in time and benefit it and be the same person. Because you're going to inherently be a different person. You know, because like the timeline that you are in, you know, you're creating a new timeline.
That's true. That's true.
Time like time travel is really funky, guys.
Yeah, maybe I went too deep on that.
No. I know that's an easy answer for me, because like going back in time and telling a past version of yourself information, then they get to benefit, but you don't. But if a future version of you came and visited you, then you get a benefit from it. Because like, what would you want? You'd want money, success, to live your life a little bit differently, et cetera, et cetera. You can do the same. I mean, you know, we ended up at a really nice place. What if you go back in time and tell your old self about me, and then we never meet somehow? What
would you tell? So if you're choosing talking to your future self, what would you tell/ask future self?
You know, probably just like, okay, so a few things. One, I'd ensure our financial success.
So we didn't have to worry about money.
Yeah. I'd ensure like kind of like our long-term happiness. Like, you know, like what job should we do? Where should we move? Where should we live? You know, like, and I'd avoid natural disasters and health concerns and like any other like bad things that might happen to us. So basically just to make our life better.
Yeah.
Pretty,
that was a good answer. Yeah. That was a good answer.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Okay. My only ones after this are silly. I'll just forget them now.
How about we just do one more each?
Okay,
and we save the rest for later.
Okay, sounds good.
This is something that like we're going to have potentially very different answers on. Would you rather communicate with animals, excluding humans, using your mind, or communicate with computers using your mind?
Well, is the second one excluding humans also?
Yeah, I mean, a computer isn't a human.
No. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying like, would you rather be able to talk to animals, but you can't talk to humans?
Oh, no. Like in addition to the communication you have right now. So it's like telepathically communicate with animals or telepathically communicate with computers.
Oh man. I'm looking at Jube right now and I want to know what's happening.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be great to just look at your phone, pull up whatever app you want, have it just be typed out, send it, shoot out emails like crazy, edit like a wizard, like hack into systems?
I mean, I think I would have to choose computers because like it would just be so useful. Like talking to animals would be super fun, but it also like after a while you might just realize like, oh, like our cat only has these few thoughts and not too much else, and I kind of already guessed what those thoughts were because I know her.
Okay, what about this? What if you can grant one animal but not change their lifespan, grant one animal human intelligence, and then also be able to talk with them?
I would still choose computers.
Yeah, computers. I mean, it's so
also,
useful.
if you can't change their lifespan, but you give them human intelligence, then you're just like, hello, tiny human trapped in a cat. You only have a lifespan of like...
That's so sad.
This many years.
That's so sad. Yeah, sorry. I went to like a deep, dark place with that one. Sad. I know. Sorry.
Juby doesn't need to know what her lifespan is. It's hard enough for me to deal with it. She's 9 years old now. Okay.
Cats can live to 20.
Yeah, they can live a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Juby's going to live forever.
Forever.
Okay. Would you rather only be able to eat your 3 favorite foods for the rest of your life? So think of your 3 favorite foods. It doesn't really matter what they are, but you could only eat those for the rest of your life.
So how specific? Is it like cheesy pasta or pasta?
I think it needs to be more like a meal. If you sit down with that food.
Thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Not like a category of foods, but like a specific one.
Okay. I have it.
So would you rather only be able to eat those 3 favorite foods for the rest of your life? Or never eat those 3 favorite foods again?
Never eat those 3 favorite foods again. For sure.
Okay, yeah,
For sure.
Too.
We're always finding new dishes, new meals, new favorites. It's like we have like 3 that are like, ooh, Tasty. Tasty. Coming soon. Evan in Katelyn's kitchen. No, but
Cook some more 3D prints.
yeah. But no, just no.
Yeah.
Because like, man, we can barely eat the same thing in a row, just like 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
We're always trying, like, we cycle through our favorite dishes.
Yeah, that's true. I feel the same.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be hard.
It'd be so no.
It'd be hard.
It'd be hard. Yeah. And also, is that just for dinner? Is that for like you only get 3 meals, and that's what you had to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Okay,
maybe one last one.
Okay, but then we're getting kind of close to
Okay. One last one. Last one. All right. Would you rather have your singing sound perfect you?
Have my stinging?
Have your singing sound perfect for you, but to everyone else it sounds mediocre? Or would you rather have your singing sound mediocre to you, but perfect to everyone else?
Perfect to everyone else.
But then, like, you're always going to be doubting. You're always going to be, like, doubting whether or not people are actually, like, enjoying it. And you're going to, like,
that's like the story of putting stuff on YouTube. You're like, is this video? Well, if people are watching it, I guess it's okay.
But, like, you know, like, but your own singing, you can sing perfectly to yourself. And you'll always be, like, hearing this beautiful voice.
I'm okay with my own voice sounding mediocre to me.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that was an easy
things
question
wouldn't really
too.
change. It would just be like, oh, now everyone else thinks my singing is great. Now I don't have to feel weird if I'm singing in public.
So you're saying my singing isn't perfect?
No, I didn't say that. Your singing's beautiful.
Thank you. That's why I don't sing too much in these YouTube videos or anything that goes online, because I'm just afraid of being sued. I'm afraid of getting that copyright infringement because, like,
you're like so on key.
So on key.
I can show you that. Nope. Stop.
No. I see. I couldn't do that.
No.
It'd just be copy strike in like half a second of that singing. All right. Well, that might be a good place to end it on that humble brag. That was really fun.
Yeah. When we have a few more questions that we didn't get to, so yeah. And I think a lot of these games I foresee us coming back to them because they've been really fun.
Would you rather?
That's a good one.
It was one of my favorites.
It was a good one.
It was a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the debate last time too. Oh, and I liked the song guessing. I mean, we did a lot of fun ones. I like games.
So you listed 3. What's the one that we haven't listed? The one that like didn't come to mind.
Well, it came to mind, but it wasn't as much of a favorite. It was the one we did the first one where we did the one word at a time. It was just hard.
That's really hard. Like
there's a bug. Okay.
All right. Wait, we gotta go.
Okay. There's a bug. Do we get it?
All right. Like call to actions.
Yeah.
We need to say thank you to everyone who's given us iTunes reviews. That just makes us so happy to review, to read.
It does. Sorry, I'm
just like looking at the bug. Okay, so
no, it's okay. It's one of the slow dumb ones. So like we can get him. Okay. But yes, thank you for giving us iTunes reviews. It's kind of surreal to see those pop up. Oh, and it fluctuates. It like fluctuates, but
we got to number 9.
Yeah, we got to number 9, and then like I'm sure we've gone back down and up and down and up again. But on the charts for United States gaming and hobbies,
I'm just gonna get this. Here, you do your thing of the week while I get this back.
Okay. But yeah, so it's super awesome, and we really appreciate you guys listening and giving it reviews and sharing and all that stuff. And while Evan gets this bug, I'm going to do my thing of the week. Did you get it?
I got it.
Bug cap. Okay. So
hey, don't give too much away. That's a secret.
Okay. So my thing of the week is, and actually, David brought this up on making it, but
it's coming up in the news again because there's Netflix.
Yeah, because there's a Netflix show, but the Marie Kondo
life-changing magic of
tidying up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I haven't watched the Netflix show, but we read the book a few years ago, and at least once a year we kind of do a huge overhaul in our house and just get rid of a bunch of things.
It's crazy how much, like, the volume of stuff we've gotten rid of, like thrown away or given away or sold. It's mind-boggling. Like, we could probably fill up half of this room with the stuff we've given away
just
and
in the past like month.
Miss.
Yeah.
No, like we could probably fill up this whole room with like all of the stuff we've gotten rid of.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Since we like really got serious about the process.
Yeah, since we first started it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like the first time we did it was pretty easy, and it gets progressively harder because
we tackled the low-lying fruit in a way, like the things where you could make an easy decision about. But the most
I think
recent
also we
round
had
is
less stuff. Like we have, since we started the business, we've been gaining stuff a lot more quickly. Part of it is like tools and things for the workshop. Sometimes because we buy it, sometimes because a sponsor is like, here, use this thing. And so like we just accumulate stuff faster. Materials for projects, things like, this robot kit. Like now we need a robot kit so that we can build a robot, which we're going to be doing after this.
I think some of the hardest things though were like the things that required action. Like, do you want to throw away this computer that may or may not work? Do you want to get rid of these CDs? Have you backed them up? Like what? Like you had to make hard decisions at some point where like, if I look at a t-shirt and I'm like, I haven't worn this and I'm not going to wear this, that's easy. But if you look at an engineering textbook that is part of your thing, part of your identity, and that you are using to study for like your professional engineering degree, that's part of like your identity, and giving it away is much harder than just getting rid of a t-shirt. So there's like there it reaches a certain point where it gets really hard. Here, let's like really quickly, like there's no way we can do justice to the book in like a few sentences, but I'm going to try to summarize it. In the past, when we tried to get rid of stuff, we looked for the things that we wanted to get rid of in a way. And with Marie Kondo, she encourages you to gather everything of a category, gather all of your t-shirts and pick out the ones that you love, that give you joy, and get rid of the rest. And that's like an entirely different way of looking at it, but it makes the decision a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes you be a lot more harsher in your decision making. Harsher is not the right word, but like you get rid of more than you would if you were only looking for like, well, I know I hate this shirt. It's like the threshold of like where the decision gets made in terms of, in the like love versus hate scale is different when you look at it at like, well, I keep everything I love and I get rid of stuff I don't love.
But also it's like there's a lot of gray area, and then like
there's a lot of
like
gray area.
Clothing is like she kind of goes per category, and it's different for each category in a way. And clothing is just the easiest example to give up, because like there's a lot of like gray area clothes where you don't hate them.
But I think it's also harder now. This is kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, is since we started the business, it's a lot harder now because we're making decisions
Utility
for
things.
Personal things and for a business. It's like we might have some camera equipment that we got when we first started, but we don't need it anymore because we have a better version. But it was like a kind of expensive thing at the time, but it's not really like that great in comparison to stuff now, And so it's hard to make decisions about those kind of things.
But also it's like, I think that as we continually purge stuff, we get
more confident about making the decision.
More confident, but also we get experience. We like think of new ways to think about decisions that lets us reframe things so that we can get rid of things easier.
Yeah. So like one thing that I often do, and I started this like with clothes and stuff, but I think you can apply it to like pretty much any category of things. But if I have 10, I'm just going to use clothes again, 10 t-shirts, but like I will always wear, or if I have 30 t-shirts, but I'll always wear these 10. And these 10 are my favorites. And when I run out of these 10, I would rather do laundry than wear any of the other ones. Yeah. Then it's a sign that like, even though those other 20 are fine, totally good shirts, you don't need them, because you're always going to choose the work of doing the laundry to rewear the 10 over just wearing shirt number 11 or whatever. Yeah. And I think it's the same with like camera equipment. If it's like, oh, we have I don't know. Like if
let's say we have 3 cameras and we always go for one. And if we need a second, we go for the second camera, and we never use the third, we should get rid of the third.
Yeah, but it's more than just that. It's more than like, but in situations where we need the third, we grab our phones instead. Yeah. Because we just don't like the third.
Or we just buy another camera. So then like you can work through that future logic in your head and say, okay, we're never going to use this ever again.
Yeah. It's like maybe you're holding on to some wood or some,
Man, should we do an entire episode on this?
I don't know. I'm just going to finish this thought. Like if you're holding on to like some stash of wood or whatever that's like totally good, it's just hasn't been right for any of the projects you've done in the past 2 years and you always buy new stuff instead.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to give that wood to somebody else, you know?
Yeah, that's something we've been slowly realizing.
Yeah, and I mean, we still need to go through our garage.
We still need to go through our garage a lot.
It's really
bad. All right, moving on to my thing. My thing of the week is a specific game, a game that we've been playing on Twitch. It's Human Fall Flat.
It's so good.
And like, I think that like with like kind of the health things that's been going on with me, I just love it because it makes me laugh, it makes me have fun, and it makes me forget that I hurt. That's sad, but it's really fun. It's really fun and distracting.
Yeah, it's like, just to give a little insight into the game, it's like super floppy mechanics, so it's kind of frustrating, but also
like
makes it really funny.
Two clumsy drunk people that are trying to solve puzzles.
Yeah, you're trying to solve puzzles. We can play together, so we like play local co-op.
It's really fun to play together. I think that like if you're just playing
it'd be
it alone,
so frustrating
it'd
by
be
yourself.
so frustrating.
Don't play it by yourself. Rope somebody else into it, and know that when you first start, you're going to be like, this game is dumb. It is frustrating. I don't understand the controls. But then
it gets you.
It gets you, and the frustrating controls are like part of why
it's charm.
So funny. It's like part of why it's funny because you're like, I just want to climb.
And then there's
throw
like
my arms
the
up
little
there.
booty wiggling.
Oh yeah, the booty wiggling. There's a lot of they wiggle their booties and they lock it when you try to climb up stuff, and it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Evan made his character look like Ron Swanson, and I made my character look like, imagine Peach, but like with a demonic snowman head.
Yeah, it's kind of somewhat
it's like
nightmare
Princess
fuel.
Snowman. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Really sold that.
If you guys want to watch us play, we play on Twitch every now and then. We've done it a few times. We got a Miley Cyrus this thing.
I came in like a wrecking ball. Oh, boom. But I think actually right after this, we're going to build a robot on Twitch.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Which, if you're listening to this,
then it's already happened.
We already did it.
Sorry.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us on another Evan and Katelyn podcast. We really appreciate you spending your time with us, and we'll look forward to making the next one and sharing it with you guys.
And make sure that you subscribe to the Evan and Katelyn podcast YouTube channel and give us a rating and review on iTunes.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, since I made my chair taller, everything is weird now.
Well, but now you're like
at your level.
Get on my level.
Oh, I moved my seat cushion. Yes, I have a seat cushion.
Oh, that's how you got taller.
No, this is always here.
Oh, okay.
My butt gets cold. It's not for cushion, it's for warmth. Shall we start?
Shall we start? Okay.